うるさいって言ってんだろ、お前。
but it's okay. Che, oye, che.
Damn, uncle.
Te quito ya, adiós. Había un poco, tío. Hey, stop, bro. Don't touch me, bro.
Now look, what what makes you go in like in a highway filled with people just to do your, you know what I'm saying, hip hop dance, bro? Like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Let's lock in, man. This is actually like a public nuisance, you know what I'm saying? Now look, as a, like, I feel like when Japanese, hold on, let's continue with the video. I'm gonna say what my take when the video starts. Look.
Oh! Give me my fucking phone, bro. Give me my fucking phone, bro. Let's go out here. We'll talk.
In recent months, Japan has been undergoing a significant transformation, and it's not a positive one. On the streets, protests by Japanese people complaining about mass tourism and immigration are growing. Many say that foreigners are bringing problems, from minor everyday issues to crimes and situations that disrupt
But look, this
problems, from minor everyday issues.
This is dumb as fuck, right?
To crimes and situations.
But this unk just came to this nigga unwarranted, bro. Unless something happened a few seconds before, you know what I'm saying? But this unk was bugging, you know what I'm saying?
Situations that disrupt the lives of local residents. Of course, we can't generalize. Not every foreigner.
If you come to Japan, you have to learn all the traditionals before you come, or you will surely end up in jail for anything you do wrong, especially in Kyoto. Now, facts, especially like I heard when you go to Japan, what's the word? It's just privileged people. Nah, yeah. But the thing is, in Japan, I heard like you can't even have tattoos. Like some establishments will not let you in because you have tattoos, because they think you're like part of the mafia or yakuza or like a triad gang. You feel what I'm saying? There is a lot of because of the yakuza, exactly. Because there is a lot of traditional cultural things niggas need to follow when you go to Japan. I definitely know that.
Causes trouble and makes a mess.
Hey man, I blame Logan Paul. I don't give a I blame Logan Paul. That nigga Logan Paul went to a forest that is dead, as they said, it's called Suicide Forest. And this nigga went to the forest and he seen a body, and he recorded that body. Like, what, my nigga? In some places you can no longer enter if you are a foreigner. Damn. Wait, can I go to Akihabara at least? Can I at least go to Akihabara, my nigga? Can I at least go to Akihabara, bro? That's all I want to go, bro. Deadass, guys. That's all I need, bro. I need my anime figurines, guys.
But so many incidents have been happening, and this has changed the way Japanese people view contact with the outside world and with outsiders. The country, which for decades has marketed itself as welcoming, traditional, and hospitable, is now debating the limits of tourism and even immigration. Political movements and even new parties are emerging with this discourse, and this change may be marking the end of Japan as we know it. And today, we'll understand how Japan reached this point. Why might Japan be on the verge of closing itself off to the world again? And what's causing all this?
Hey.
それをね、世界に見せるんですよ。日本人はまだやれるぞって示しましょうよ。
Why are they putting X on Japan?
Before talking about history, it's worth understanding what's happening now in Japan. In recent months, the country has entered a major debate about immigration and mass tourism. Something that wasn't much talked about until recently, but now fills headlines and streets. One of the major triggers was the so-called African Hometown Cities, a program announced by the Japan International Cooperation Agency. The idea seemed quite simple: to bring interns from African countries like Nigeria, Ghana, Tanzania, and Mozambique to receive training in Japan and then return to their countries. But just the announcement caused a huge uproar. Thousands of Japanese took to the streets of Tokyo and Osaka with signs saying things like, "Protect the
We don't need these niggas." I'm playing.
Japanese people," and "End mass immigration." The pressure was such that the government itself had to publicly deny any plans for widespread immigration. The chief cabinet secretary even stated that there are no plans for special visas for Africans and that the news about mass immigration was false. But the matter didn't end there. Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba has been advocating opening the doors a bit more to foreign students and workers. Japan is aging.
Now, look, here's the thing. With foreign, I'm a foreign student, right? I wouldn't say I'm a foreign exchange student, like I'm a foreign student, right? So, when you come, especially when you're a foreign student, like, they double the school fees, you feel what I'm saying? Like, the local students don't pay the same exact amount as the foreign students because they normally use most of the time USD or like euros or pounds or some shit. That's my experience in India. Because when I ask how much niggas is paying school fees, the Indian people, they're paying half of what I'm paying. So at the end of the day, when you bring foreign students or like enter work abroad type shit, it actually helps the economy. You feel what I'm saying? And especially if people learn to adapt, you're paying more. Yes. And I wasn't surprised. Like, yo, if with Indian people, I'm never surprised, bro. Shout out to them though. Shout out to my Indian people. You feel what I'm saying? I am paying more. Now look, it is helpful for the economy. You feel what I'm saying? For like, it helps the economy, the GDP, and like even like more like with trade, basically. You feel me? Like the more people from certain countries you have connections with, the more trade, the more, you feel me, global power, the more of a global powerhouse you will be because you have allies type shit. So at the end of the day, just because like a few rotten apples in the bunch does not like make the whole community or like all the foreign people coming in terrible, you feel what I'm saying? But like that's the thing with news though, they highlight the bad and they don't highlight the good. You feel what I'm saying, chat? Like it's very rare for somebody, it's very rare, especially local news, chat. Yo, local news love talking about like, yo, let's say, oh, this African da, 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 and then they put it on the news. But let's say there was like a thief robbing somebody and then like an African dude saves the old woman from like a robber or some shit. They will not highlight this shit, bro. Okay, I'll explain why Japan started accepting so many immigrants. Asia is general, but in Japan in particular has a very low birth rate in 2024, like 664,000. Yes, I heard that too. It is. I ain't gonna lie, I had seen the flyer saying that, oh, if you're black, come and have Japanese babies for $67,000. I was like, what the fuck? So the government is looking for workers who can help build the country, but is doing the opposite. Nah, look, bro. Especially when there's a language barrier. That's the second thing I was gonna say. When there's a language barrier, chat, it's very hard to communicate with each other. You feel me? So if like, okay, let's say I go to England, right? I know a little bit of English. So when I do something wrong, a British person will immediately tell me, yo, this is not cool. We don't do this in Britain. So I will understand. I'll make sure not to do it next time. But I'm an African dude. I have zero Japanese knowledge in my head. And then the Japanese tells me, stop. Like, you feel me? They talks in Japanese with me and tell me, oh, da 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 da. I'm like, huh? You feel me? I will not understand. About 2 days ago, we had a change in the prime minister. She's a meathead, LOL, GG's. And apparently she helps us get all immigrants. Damn. She's like Donald Trump, but in Japan. I'm cooked. I gotta cancel the Japan trip, chat. I'm gonna have to cancel the Japan trip, bro. Damn.
Rapidly and needs a workforce. On the other hand, nationalist and conservative groups reacted very strongly, saying that this policy threatens cultural identity and could bring social problems.
Man, who's this nigga?
The numbers reveal the great shock. In 2024 alone, Japan received 360,000 new foreign entries, a historical record. This only intensified the discussions that had been growing since 2021, when the death of Weishi Mansandali, a Sri Lankan refugee in a detention center, became the symbol of the debate on immigration and the treatment of foreigners. And it doesn't stop there.
Damn, did they murder her?
Amidst all this, a new and noisy political player emerged, the Sanseto.
And aside from that, oh, what in the anime are you talking about? What? She said, and aside from that, there's literally an alien spacecraft in our solar system. What, my nigga? Atlas? Nigga, what? Hello? Are we being invaded and I don't know?
This party appeared a
GG.
few years ago and exploded in the 2024 elections, going from almost nothing to 14 seats in the Senate. Today, it is already the fourth largest opposition force. Its leader, Sureka Mia, was practically a conservative YouTuber who gained fame during the pandemic by criticizing vaccines, globalism, and immigration. And here's a very important point. The perception of this Japanese party varies greatly depending on who is analyzing it. Some media outlets tend to label Kamiya as a conspiracy theorist, a populist, and far-right, pointing to his anti-immigration rhetoric and ideas like Japan First as signs of xenophobia and historical revisionism. Meanwhile, other sources consider the Sanseito as a legitimate reaction from part of the population who feels that the government is yielding too much to global pressures, losing sovereignty and cultural identity. The truth here is that, regardless of ideology, this party has managed to place immigration at the center of Japanese political debate in a way that hadn't been seen for decades. And even though analysts say their success might be temporary, the pressure they are already exerting on major parties, like the Liberal Democratic Party, is hardening the tone on immigration and tourism. All of this shows a divided Japan. On one side, the need for foreign workers and tourism that generates billions. On the other,
It does. I told ya, yo. Foreigners bring a lot of money. And like, with a foreigner, you can easily scam, like, you feel me? I'm not saying scam them, but you will deadass double the prices for them niggas, you feel me? You can search up Sensei Takashi too. She's gonna be like the Prime Minister of Japan. Is that the female Trump?
a growing fear of losing control over culture, security, and even daily life. But to understand how a country that seemed so open to visitors reached this point of tension, we need to look into history
Donald
because
Trump.
this shock didn't come out of nowhere. This climate of rejection, protests, and even new parties with a Japan First rhetoric is the result of a series of events that have happened throughout history. And to understand why the Japanese are so uneasy today, we need to go back a little in time.
Nah, but look, here's the thing, right? If you know the language and there's no communication barrier, right? Here's the thing. The best way, especially, okay, if you want to be a tourist, that's one thing. But if you want to live there, try to learn the culture, bro. Learn the culture. Learn the language. You feel what I'm saying? And try to communicate, you feel me? Just don't go to somebody's country and not communicate with the people. That's literally weird. Like, what? I don't know what your purpose is over here. So, like, once you learn the language, bro, like, it's literally that's the best thing you could ever do, bro. Dead ass. And I be trying to, I know a little bit of Hindi here and there, you feel what I'm saying? Just to, like, trying to, just like, so I can, I'm like making initiative, like, I'm here to your country. You feel me? I like the culture. I like the, you feel me? Just like the general sense. And like, if they don't, and when they have questions for me too, like, oh yeah, what y'all do in your country, da da da, this and the third, I can easily even communicate to them so that when I do something that's weird to them, I'll be like, yo, it's a cultural thing. And when they do something like I don't understand, I can ask them and I'll literally understand. How's the food though? It's not bad. I ain't gonna lie, it's bad. And nigga, all this Arabian food is coming from Asia. We have adas, we have janjaro, we have all this stuff, bro. Like, even most of the herbs and spices come from India, bro. Dead ass. So, like, okay, the street food thing is a real thing, but that's in the ghetto. Like, literally, that's literally the ghetto. If you go to the ghetto, like, every country has a ghetto area, so, you feel me? People are simply lazy, do nothing for their lives or futures. Learning Japanese is a process and that requires at least thousands of days, daily studies, as well as learning cultures, and all which takes years, but people don't make that effort. Damn. Bro, Janjaro. Have you had the magic... What's magic water? What? I don't think so.
Japan, for a long time, was one of the most closed countries in the world. Back in the 17th century, they entered a period
India?
called
Nah.
Sakoku, which literally
I'll
means
search it up.
closed
What?
country. For over 200 years, almost no foreigners
For
could
magic
enter,
water?
and practically no Japanese could leave. The idea was to protect
say that
against
another
external
recipe.
influences, both religious and political, and to keep Japanese culture pure and intact. This only began to change from the 19th century when American warships literally came knocking on Japan's door. It was the famous episode of Commodore Perry in 1853 that forced the country to open its ports. From then on, Japan was forced to modernize and interact more with the rest of the world. But even so, the opening was
Damn, and now we don't have no samurais Gozaru. We don't have no none of that, bro. That ass. We don't have no Momonosuke's and shit. That's crazy. Bro, are you studying? Yes, I'm studying civil engineering.
controlled,
I might be
always
quick
with
this
a
semester,
certain
though.
distrust of foreigners. After World War II, Japan truly transformed once and for all. With the defeat and American occupation, the country had to reinvent itself.
Fake lemon
They
juice,
adopted
sugar,
a pacifist
and
constitution,
cilantro?
got closer to the West, and entered a
is
phase of
fake
incredible
lemon?
economic growth. In the 70s, 80s, and 90s, Japan became a symbol of technology, pop culture, and even hospitality. You can almost feel that nostalgic taste of Japanese city pop. It was a time when everyone wanted to visit Tokyo, eat sushi, see ancient temples,
This is.
and dive into
You see, here's the thing about my streams, chat. You learn while you laugh. You learn. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, and you're entertained. So it's just like food for growth. You feel me?
anime and video games that were exploding worldwide. Japan gained a reputation for being both a welcoming
Right, I'm
and
saying.
modern country. This created a very positive international image, almost as if Japan were a cultural paradise open for the entire world to visit and admire. But this pretty image had a detail. Japan was still very selective with foreigners who wanted to stay permanently in the country. Tourism was very welcome, but immigration not so much.
Facts.
Japan became the
Tapping
factory
in
of the
street,
world.
Chat, that ass.
It exported Toyotas, Walkmans, video games, anime, world. It exported Toyotas, Walkmans, video.
This came from Japan? Yo, this meme is legendary. Hold on. This came from Japan? I didn't know that. What the fuck? Japan is the future, not dead ass. I ain't gonna lie. Toyota is from Japan. But I didn't know this monkey meme was from Japan. Yeah, that's... Damn. Toyota. Hyundai is from Korea. I don't know what's from China though. I think Mitsubishi is from Japan though.
video games, anime, but imported
Sony.
almost no people. This balance worked for a few decades, but ended up being one of the reasons that helped create the crisis we see today. They had no idea what would happen in the coming years. The door is open. Immigration to save the economy. One of the
BYD?
first
BYD
symptoms
from
began
China?
around 2010, when Japan literally started losing people. The population shrank by more than
Panasonic?
500,000 people per year.
Sony.
There weren't enough workers in
Toshiba.
factories, construction sites, farms, and even sushi restaurants. Without young
Sushi?
people,
Damn,
Japan's
sushi.
economic machine
I'm gonna say this. I have never tried sushi. And I don't think I will try it, bro. Here's why. I love fish, but I hate sushi. Now here's the reason why. Nintendo, Sega, Bandai, Namco, Capcom, Konami, Square Enix. God damn. Hate seafood. Now look though. It's not called sushi, it's called maki. I think that's like I think sushi just is like a foreign word. Sushi maki? Okay, maki then. I've never tried maki because nigga, I like my shit cooked, bro. I'm not Ethiopian. Only Ethiopian niggas love their meat raw. Pause. Time. The only African country that eat food meat raw is Ethiopia, you know what I'm saying? So I like my meat cooked, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, the only time I tried sushi is like, I don't know if prawns count as sushi, but yeah, I ain't gonna lie. It's too exotic for me. I would try it, but I think I would try it in Japan, because in Japan, it's like how do I say it? Like they take care of their fish. For me, it's like a clean establishment. Like they make sure you don't get, what's the word? Food poisoning, or what's it called? Miasma? What's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? Whatever y'all know what I'm talking about, yeah. Cause deadass, I cannot eat like raw fish anywhere else except from the source section.
Began to sputter. The government tried to resist, but the time came when it was no longer possible. In 2019, they created a new visa, the Specified Skilled Worker, to bring foreign labor into very critical sectors like construction, agriculture, and elder care. And Japan, which had always kept its borders closed to immigrants, opened a small crack. And a lot of people came in. Thousands of Vietnamese, Filipinos, Chinese, Indonesians, even Kurds fleeing conflicts in the Middle East started arriving. The factories that were almost shutting down gained a lot of momentum. And at the same time, tourism exploded in the country, especially after the pandemic. In 2024, more than 30 million tourists flooded the archipelago, breaking all historical records. But Japan opened the door without thinking about how to welcome these people. Most of these foreign workers ended up in very difficult, low-paid jobs, with very little chance to grow or even integrate into society. Many tourists began to be seen as noisy invaders who disrespect rules and overcrowd cities. The image of hospitality began to crack. That half-open door turned into a gigantic problem. Japan, which had always been synonymous with order and tranquility, began to feel the heavy weight of so many outsiders. Over-tourism became the word of the day. Kyoto, once known for the silence of its temples and charming streets, became crowded with people taking selfies in the middle of the way, pushing residents, leaving trash on the streets, and driving up prices everywhere. At Mount Fuji, kilometer-long lines formed just to take pictures. They even had to install a gate and charge an entrance fee to control the crowds. Places that once lived off tourism started to hate tourism. Immigration also began to take its toll.
Wow, okay, come on. Come on now.
The promise of a workforce to save the economy came along with stories that frightened the Japanese. Cases of robberies and thefts committed by foreign groups, some even live-streamed by streamers seeking attention, began to surface. Public health care became...
You see, this is how you know you're cooked. How you, as a criminal, live stream your shit. Your details are literally in the fucking login, my nigga. Niggas is gonna know your identity with your people. You know what? Yeah, this generation is cooked, bro.
More strained, with overcrowded clinics and hospitals. Cheap housing disappeared in some regions. And in certain neighborhoods, rent skyrocketed as large numbers of newcomers arrived all at once. To make things worse, fake news started spreading freely across the internet. One of the most famous claimed that Japan had donated an entire city to Tanzania, which was completely false, but went viral and fueled fears of losing territory and identity. The spark came in 2025, when massive protests filled the streets in cities like Tokyo, Osaka, and even Saitama. Signs reading "Protect Japan" and "Invaders Out" began to appear. Kurdish groups who were already victims of prejudice became direct targets, often unfairly accused of crimes and of stealing jobs. The climate in the country began to grow increasingly tense, and this feeling didn't stop in the streets. It started to invade politics.
From the US? Damn. I locked that in. I locked in, that's it. Wait, what's locked in?
In the June 2025 elections, a party that almost nobody took seriously, the Sanseido, made a significant leap. With the slogan "Japan First," they copied much of Trump's style, with strong nationalism, anti-immigration, and a hefty dose of fear about security and jobs.
GG's.
For the first time, they won important seats in the Senate and became international news. Figures like Yusuke Kawai took advantage of the tense atmosphere and began openly blaming immigrants for problems like inflation, violence, and loss of cultural identity. And it wasn't just empty rhetoric. YouTube, TikTok, and other social networks became very powerful weapons. Viral
Donald
videos,
Trump.
memes inciting hatred, and influencers going
Trump. Donald Trump. How do you pronounce the name? Donald Trump.
live against foreigners
Casi cuatro.
helped spread the idea
Yeah.
that Japan is being invaded. We understand that part of this feeling is valid. People have the right to feel this way, but much of this assertion is
Yes.
purely mass political propaganda.
Bro, you
The
watching
phenomenon
anything? No,
is
this
very
is education,
reminiscent
bro.
of what happened in the United States and parts of Europe. And the protests that were already strong became fuel for a wave that exploded
This is
in
educational,
2025, placing Japan in one of the most tense moments of its recent history. Between June and September 2025, Japan entered a climate
Big
that no
BigSam.
one imagined seeing. Cities known for silence and organization,
Yeah,
like the ones I
bro.
mentioned, were taken over by massive protests against immigration and destructive tourism.
Damn.
The trigger was a viral
I ain't
video.
gonna lie, cash, we're not allowed in Japan, bro. So if you had any dreams of like watching anime, I mean, going to like Japan and like buy figurines and get your waifu and like, you feel what I'm saying, explore Japan or something, yeah. Put in the bag, bro. Fries in the bag, bro. This is
A
GG's
foreign
for us.
streamer assaulting an elderly Japanese man. That was enough to set social networks ablaze and become a symbol that Japan is losing control. The government tried to react quickly
Nah, but Unc slapped him though, no?
with what they called the Zero Plan, a package that promised to accelerate deportations,
Waifu?
toughen
Oh,
visa
you don't watch
rules,
anime then,
and even
Waifu.
multiply by 6 the minimum capital required for foreign entrepreneurs to start businesses.
Like your anime crush.
But instead of calming things down, it just increased the tension. Prime Minister Ishiba saw his popularity plummet. The discussion about limiting foreigners moved from social networks to becoming a serious issue in parliament,
best friend mom.
dividing the country between those who want to protect Japanese identity and those who fear a
Wait, what? What? Your mom's best friend? Oh, let me see how she look. Hold on, let me find out. Let me find out. Let me find out.
dangerous regression. After so much tension, Japan began to feel the weight of slightly open doors. The economy took a significant hit. Factories complained about the lack of labor, but local residents breathed a sigh of relief with less pressure on housing and public services. The government further tightened the rules, trying their best to deport those who were irregular. Xenophobia in the country also rose, and the debate about national identity became a daily topic. But there's a very important detail here. The country still depends on foreigners. Without workers in key sectors, Japan risks stagnating once and for all. Is this the end of an open era? Or a period of adaptation where the country tries to balance security, economy, and identity? What we're seeing
I ain't gonna lie, here's the thing. I just feel like in every country, they should just, generalization should be stopped. Ignorance should be stopped. Criminals need to be deported and niggas who are working should be left alone. You feel what I'm saying? That's as simple as it is. There's no reason why one nigga does one thing and then like 20 niggas get affected by it. You feel what I'm saying? Just cause everybody's being ignorant. No. Or somebody does some criminal shit, deport that motherfucker. And why? Okay, here's the thing. Here's another thing. Before somebody goes to a foreign country, they do background checks on you, right? So what's the point of those background checks if you end up bringing a criminal into the country? You feel what I'm saying? Like, I mean, some may slip in and out, some may, for me, but at the end of the day, nigga, that's tax dollars, right? Or tax yen, or tax whatever the fuck economy that country has. I'm not talking about Japan to be specific, but like whatever country complaining about immigration at the end. So yeah, the taxes y'all is paying, you feel what I'm saying? Especially TSA or foreign affairs or whatever, like, you feel me? The background check should be valid at the end of the day.
here is a country on the brink
making
between
sense.
closing itself off and adapting, trying to protect its identity without stifling growth.
Nah, but I understand
It's a
their
very
frustration,
challenging
though.
scenario, but it shows how historical and economic decisions have effects across generations. The Japan we knew, with peaceful tourism, organized streets, sushi, and pop culture for the whole world is slowly
This
changing
video has
before
videos
our
of
eyes.
low-key this.
But will this crisis
Disinformation
lead to the
GGs.
end of an open Japan? Or will a new, more balanced, and less dangerous model emerge? We don't have an answer for this yet. It's all very recent. This is happening in real time, and we'll discover more soon. But comment below what you think about all this, or what you believe is the solution for Japan at this moment.
Wait, this video might be AI
Thank you for-
generated. No? This video might... Nah, bruh. Damn. But there is some truth to it though, right? There is some truth to it, right? Yo, Cash, you said I'd be watching anything, bruh. I ain't gonna lie, bro. You just gotta be educated. I'm just trying to be educated, bro. You feel me? General knowledge, Cash. That ass, Cash. Bro, I was going to the Philippines. Yes, bro. Japan has, in fact, already halted the African immigrant project. Oh my god, bro.